Hey, okay, I'm going to continue on this because I'm realizing that this is a very good jumping point for something that I've wanted to talk about on YouTube for a while now. This is a really good point for me to jump on. Because, again, this event with Jerry, and by the way, it's not just Jerry. Woods of Jordan also recently put out a video which is just as laughable. I don't know what it is. These guys, if you notice, have been banding together recently, it seems, almost, and coming up with some of the most ridiculous shit I've seen in a while. And all these things are just proving something I've wanted to say, and I've already mentioned in the last video. You guys are ill-equipped to deal with the intellectual arena. This is not an insult. I'm not trying to insult you. I'm telling it like it is. Before I go on, this is about the fundies now. I am not talking about, all Christians or whatever. I know I get comments and I get some PMs every now and then saying that I'm Christian. I hope you don't think I'm this way. Or we don't think like that. I know you guys aren't like that. Okay. Like I said in a couple of my videos prior, the one where I was thanking everyone for supporting the show. There's a priest who shows up at the store. We get along just fine. I love the dude. He's well learned, knows a lot about scripture. He and I get along like crazy. He loves talking with me because he realizes that I'm one of the few people in the store who can talk to him about scripture in the Old Testament and the New Testament, and we talk about the old books, and the different philosophies that went on. He's a great guy. Love talking to him, I can get along with a religious person just fine, and he knows I'm not religious. It's not, even if I don't like your religion, if you as a person are a cool person, we can get along. If you're not using your rhetoric to cause misery on the earth, to try to judge other people on the earth, we can get along. You keep your freaking religion to yourself for your own personal path, we can get along. It's the fundies that we got problems with. They're the ones holding the world back. They're the ones who are trying to say that people like me are evil, even though all misery, if you look at the way history has been going, a lot of the suffering is linked to these assholes. But I'm going off topic. It's not the subject of this video. The subject of this video is why they are ill-equipped. Okay? The sad thing is, these fundamentalists, and for those of you fundies who are watching this, pay attention. This is not an insult. This is not ownage. I am saying this. I'm trying to give you guys some decent information, and I am not trying to be judgmental. I'm trying to give you an idea of why people like us either laugh at you or look at you with scorn. You guys are ill-equipped to deal with the intellectual arena. You are. Alright. First, alright. Hold on for once. Hold on. Look. Okay. Alright. I want to show you something. See? They're not my swords. See this? This black box here? Huh? That's a computer. That's my computer, by the way. I built it myself. I'm happy with it. I never buy my machines. I always got to build them myself. Alright. I'm showing you that. And I'm pretty sure you guys have one too. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to watch this. See this computer? See? That's a resource tool. Okay? A resource tool. It's not just for entertainment. Okay? It's not just something for you to put a camera up and regurgitate the dogma that's been shoved down your throat ever since you were a kid. It's not just for porn. It's not just for gaming. It's not just for watching movies or pirating. It's not just for surfing or checking out blogs. It's a resource tool. You can look things up with this. And people like me do that all the time. And I mean, you would be amazed the types of things you can find with this box online. If you're hooked up online, there's a wealth of information out there that will just blow you away. There's like a website I like going to that houses tons of publications that are now in the public domain. They have no copyright on them anymore. Publishers put these books out all the time for really cheap because any fool can just get them. And they're books that would blow you away, like deep books on philosophy and on theological essays and scientific treatises. And I mean, I'm not just talking about open domain things like that. I I mean, there's like, there's like this movement online, like the internet wants to be free and information wants to be free. There's tons of things being put online all the time. There's a lot of garbage being put online, but there's a lot of real information, like scientists putting up reports, deep thinkers putting up their musings on life, old books that, since no one's publishing them, they'll just put the books on there line for you to read on some ancient scripture or some ancient tome or a certain facet of history, old biographies of men and women you may have never heard of who might have been very influential in society. I mean, it's amazing stuff. Not to mention, as TJ showed, crime statistics, historical points, and things like that. It's a wealth of information out there. And this stuff has been put up by thinkers, not believers, okay? The internet has always been a decent resource tool for information. It doesn't look like it now with all these I've been online since 1995, okay? I've been on this for a long time. I've been doing this debating thing for even longer than that, but I was on back when there was no YouTube. There was no MySpace. There was no, video data, like all these videos and stuff. That was very sparse and very simple and very limited. Most stuff was text-based. You had to freaking read. There were images and, of course, there was porn, but by and large, the internet in the beginning was more of an intellectual arena. You had to know your shit to get online. First of all, you had to know how to use a freaking computer to get online. Then, there were a whole bunch of message boards and Usenet and things like that, and debates used to happen all the time. And if you didn't know how to back up your shit, you were laughed out. It's not like now where any fool can just type something up and other idiots believe them. No, back then, you had to know how to use this. Newsflash to you fundies. We intellectuals have not left the internet. We're still here. So, when you guys come up here and say some stupid shit, we're here to verify what you say. And if what you're saying isn't on the up and up, we'll call you on it. You have to understand, this isn't your hometown. Alright? This isn't your church or your congregation where you can say any stupid thing, and as long as it sounds pleasing to everybody else, they'll go along with it. It's not like you guys are so used to not having your worldview challenged. You're used to this. You have this sense of like the system that you live in. You think is completely perfect. You think there's nothing wrong with it. You've never been contested on it. No one's ever really come to you and go, "That's bullshit," and then showed why. So you think everything's all hunky-dory, and then you come online and try to push this shit and think that no one's gonna... You're not ready for this. This is why I know some of you guys are shocked when so many people come down your throat. What the fuck is wrong with you? Because you're not dealing with your hometown. You're dealing with the world. The world does not function the way you think it runs. That's one of your biggest setbacks. Again, you are ill-equipped to deal with the intellectual arena. Because the biggest problem is that you are not used to being questioned, and you've latched yourself to a way of life and a system that does not believe in questioning anything. It believes in obedience and just acceptance. You don't question things. The intellectual questions everything. That's what you do with thought. When you think about something, it's a form of questioning. How does it work? Does it work? What brought it here? How does it function? Does it make any sense? Here are the tools you need in order to do battle in the intellectual arena. First, you need to understand the basic rules of debating. Okay? You need to understand the basic rules of logic. You need to understand how to form an argument. You also need to be able to take your stance and view it objectively. You actually need to be able to take something you hold dear and put it through the ringer. You have to make sure it's able to stand up to scrutiny. You have to be able to verify it with outside sources, from sources other than groups that already support your view. You have to be willing to see if any third parties or any third sources, or if there's a wealth of facts that support it. If there's anything that doesn't, you need to then stare at it and look at it and see if there's stuff backing it up and so on before you make your judgment. You guys don't do that because that's not how you were raised. That's not your system. Your system doesn't teach you to question. In fact, your system teaches you that to question is a sin. You believe in just blind acceptance and following, and you can't stand it when somebody else will not do the same, when someone else is free to think. You guys are then trying to go to an arena where one who questions will win. and yet you think you're going to win. It doesn't work that way. I'm not saying this to be a jackass. I'm not trying to insult you. I know there's plenty of you guys right now who think I'm being harsh and are taking this the wrong way. But look, facts are facts. If you are not willing to question your own stance, and if you're not willing to verify your sources, if you're working off strict belief and not facts, then you are ill-equipped to deal with the intellectual arena. If you don't have the proper tools to do battle, you are dead before you even show up. And many of you guys making videos right now have been slain many times over and don't even realize it.